you doing, Raffiella?
I am brilliant, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I really enjoyed the movie.
Oh, I'm really glad.
Yeah, which is always a good start to any interview, I find. I'm going to begin by asking what it was about this story that initially attracted you to getting involved. What made you think, right, this is going to be my next project?
Well, before I did Homebound, I'd already worked on a few like big budget films like The Theory of Everything, Peregrine for Peculiar Children, but I really loved the idea of working on more of an indie movie with a small group of actors. You know, I really love the concept of the kids being in control. And I was only 10 when I shot this film. So I was especially attracted to the idea of filming with a cast that had more animals than humans.
Guys, 10 years old, that's great. I mean, when I was 10 years old, I had no, I mean, if someone said, what do I want to be? I probably would have said something like an alien or an astronaut or something completely. But you seem to have already got a kind of career path. Is acting something that you want to do you think? I mean, I know it's still very early days and anything can kind of happen, but is this where you'd like to see your career go?
Yeah, I feel like this is definitely the direction I want to go, but I've known for a long time that I wanted to be an actor, and I don't intend to give up until I've fulfilled my ultimate ambition of playing a vampire in an American teen vampire show. So I'm going to reach that point, definitely.
Well, it's all moving in the right direction at least. But I was going to say, there's because obviously in this you share quite a close-knit, if somewhat strange bond with your on-screen siblings. Were you able to, have you got siblings in real life? Were you able to draw on any experiences to help kind of craft that character?
Well, I'm an only child, but I do have like 40 cousins and 3 of them are like my brothers. They can be a little bit wild, but I don't think they're exactly murderous. And I think back then when I was 10, I was just having a lot of fun. I didn't think too deeply about drawing on real experiences the way I would now.
Yeah. Do you think a lot's changed in those? I know it's only 4 years, but I guess the difference between being 10 and 14, which you are now, is quite a big gap, isn't it? Do you think you're a very different actress now to you were 4 years ago?
I think I've definitely changed a lot since then, and just working and gathering more experience. And I've had a lot of really good advice from other actors that I've worked with.
Yeah, well, that was going to be one of my questions. I mean, you've worked with some incredibly talented people already. I mean, an array of remarkable kind of performers. Do you find yourself when you're on screen kind of consciously learning from them? Are you watching them almost like taking notes in your mind of just to help sort of hone your skills, I suppose?
Yeah, definitely. My mind is full of like little mental notes I've been taking from watching them. I've been really lucky to have the ability to work with some of the incredible actors that I have and learn something new from each of them.
Yeah, is there anyone in the industry, be it in front of the screen, like another actor or director or producer, anyone that you think's been a really great help to you so far and really pushing you along in your development in the industry?
Well, I think there are definitely a lot of people who have helped me. Actor-wise, I recently worked very closely with the actor Eddie Marzan. He's absolutely incredible, and it was really interesting getting to see how he worked up close, and it was an incredible learning experience. But outside of actors, I definitely have to say my agents at Curtis Brown, they have given me so much advice over the years, and it's been really useful. They've been totally monumental in shaping my career. And my acting coach Amanda Brennan and dialect coach Maeve Diamond have just helped me so much. I've been working with them both for like almost 5 years now, and I've improved so much since I started working with them. They're amazing people.
Just going back. You mentioned there's a sort of about the the scene where the kind of kids really take control in this movie, quite literally, of the adults. That must have been quite, I mean, it's quite an intense, as a viewer, it's a very intense scene to kind of watch. But was that quite a fun scene to film? Was that quite a good day on set when you guys got to just, you know, completely be in control of two much older actors?
Yeah, that was definitely one of the more fun scenes to film. That and the one where we try to drown Aisling, that was especially fun. But I really loved that scene. It was especially fun, but also I felt like it was a really good turning point for my character Anna, because before that she's very much sweet, innocent, good girl with braids, but after that point you see a very dark, extremely twisted side of her.
Yeah, I mean, the film is quite dark at times, because obviously you mentioned you were just 10 years old when you made this. I mean, so I just wondered about how much is kind of explained to you at the time from the directors and stuff, because I guess some of the characters' motivations can be quite twisted, and some of the way the kind of movie goes takes the sort of viewer by surprise. But were you sort of given a very full outline of the story, or did they kind of keep things from you because of the fact you were obviously so young at the time?
Yeah, well, as with like any film that involves children, there are obviously safeguarding issues. So you shoot in a way that you never actually see anything horrific or fully understand how terrible the situation is. So I wasn't really aware of just how dark it was until like now, like a few weeks ago. But of course, my parents were made fully aware. So they were able to contextualize it for me. And looking back at it now, I'm definitely thinking like, in context, this is terrifying. And it's like, it's definitely not the film that I remember shooting so many years ago. I remember lots of fun running around with animals, and I believe dancing and drinking vodka. That was definitely just water.
Yeah, and getting up close to a swan, I find swans terrifying. They're my dog. I took my dog for a walk recently near a lake, and there was all these swans, and they looked like they were just going to come and attack me and my dog. And ever since then, I've had a little bit of a phobia. Are you all right with swans?
I saw a swan once, and it was actually like the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. Swans and geese are just like absolutely horrifying to me. When I was younger, I used to go to this farm, and there was this geese which only had like half a bill, like it only had the bottom half. And every time anyone walked past it would just like come at you. It was like terrifying.
It was a goose, wasn't it, in the movie?
It was geese.
Yeah, sorry, not swan. Sorry, I meant a goose. Yeah.
Swans, I'm genuinely terrified of as well.
Yeah, me too. But I was going to ask too. You mentioned about obviously sort of that we spoke about that scene when you guys take control of the adults, and Aisling and Tom were such willing participants in that scene. I could tell. What was the collaboration process like with those two on set?
I just loved working with them so much, because they are just such genuinely lovely people and incredibly talented actors. And it was really great collaborating with them, because they never treated me like I was a child. And, you know, as a young actor, that's exactly how you want people to treat you. Like, you're the same as everyone else, and you want to have your views listened to and your input taken. So it was really brilliant working with them.
I was going to ask too, because I remember when I was at school, I was picked for like the football team when I scored a goal in like a big semi-final or something. I went to school the next week, and I was walking around like I owned the place. I was like sort of walking around like a sort of celebrity. I mean, you're obviously starring in kind of films and stuff. How is that at school? How is it having this kind of double life, I suppose? Obviously you've got your education, which is obviously very important, or your friendships at school, but at the same time you've got your whole kind of career flourishing at the same time. How's the sort of balance of that, and is it quite fun sharing your work with your friends as well?
Well, actually, I'm homeschooled, and I have been for quite a few years, but I do have a really great group of friends outside my studies. I do quite like to keep my friendships separate from my work, and I don't really discuss it with them as much unless them like, you know, seeing me in a film or whatever. But, you know, we're just too busy doing all the normal things that teenagers like to do, like, you know, binging vampire shows and drinking bubble tea, you know.
Sounds like we need to get you into a vampire show eventually soon. That seems to be.
I feel like I'm dropping a lot of hints here.
Yeah. But my sort of final question really is looking ahead to other projects. Vesper's one that's very exciting. What can you tell us about that? What are you allowed to say at this stage? I know sometimes when films are still in sort of post-production, there's only so much. But is it a project that you're quite excited to share with the world?
Well, I am very excited about this project. I worked on it last year in the middle of the pandemic, and it is coming out this summer. I'm super excited about it. Just a bit about the film. It is set in a dystopian future after the collapse of the world's ecosystem, and it follows Vesper, me, a willful girl who uses her survival skills and biohacking to keep herself and her father alive. And I play Vesper, and she's a bit like Greta Thunberg, but with a machete.
Oh, well, you've sold that to me.
Yeah, it was such a fun project to work on, and I got to work with some incredible actors like Eddie Marzan, like I mentioned, Richard Brake and Rosie McEwen, and the fantastic directors Christina Boygetet and Bruno Samper. It was such an incredible experience, and as it was my first lead role, it was so nice to have such a lovely crew of people. We shot it in Lithuania, in a lot of locations just outside Vilnius, and most of the crew was Lithuanian, and they were just so lovely. It was a brilliant first experience of a lead role.
And Lithuania is lovely as well. I've been to Lithuania. It's a great, and I've actually been on a movie set there, and the crews are so good as well. So that must have been great to be around.
Brilliant. They just seemed all like really efficient.
Yeah.
Like I feel like stuff got done a lot faster.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see it, and I could honestly sit here and talk to you for about an hour about Eddie Marson, so I won't go into do that because such a wonderful actor. But thank you so much for your time today. Bye, Raffi. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey,